Very good morning to one and only my dear students all. Today I am Shanu Thomas here with a very important topic, that is tense. Students, this is a very common topic which we must understand to use the English. So first of all, before I am moving towards this topic, I am taking you to the topic, that is what is tense. Students, by using different kinds of verb, we tell about the action that is called tense. And this tense can be divided into many parts. Mainly there are present, past and future. Students, we will detailedly discuss about this whole topic one by one. First one is present tense. This is having four branches, students. First one is present indefinite. The second one is present continuous. The third one is present perfect, and the last one is present perfect continuous. We will study all these detailed, students, one by one. You don't worry. First of all, we will check. Same like the past tense also is having same. The past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous. Same like, students, the future tense also has the same as the present and past have. For example, future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect and future perfect continuous. Okay, I am taking you to one by one to all those topic. Okay, students, let me rub this board. First of all, let us see present tense. Okay, as I have told you, the present tense is having four parts. The first one is present indefinite. Commonly we call this tense as simple present. Okay, students, there are certain formula while we are using this present indefinite. If we have taken Hindi, and if we compare the Hindi with the English, there is slight difference. She goes to school. I have written she goes to school. Same thing I am going to tell you in Hindi. Look at here, students. Here the she is verb. This is subject. Okay, and goes, it is here. The school is here. Look at here, students. As according this English, here it is verb and this is object. But in Hindi, the case of Hindi, subject is there as the English is having. But the object of the sentence in Hindi came in the middle of the sentence. Okay, students, and the verb went to the end of the sentence. So this is the difference. If you translate Hindi into the English directly, look at here, she school goes. Is it correct? Not at all, students. This is exactly wrong sentence, because we cannot convert Hindi into the English as it is. There are certain rules while we are using using Hindi as well as English. So that this tense is having very important role when we are using the sentences. Okay, students, let us see. And one more thing, let me ask a small question. What is a verb and how many kinds of verbs are there? Okay, students, I am telling you what is verb. Verb is action words. It tells us about the present, past and future. Okay, students, so this verb can be divided into three. First one is transitive, second one is intransitive, the third one is auxiliaries. Okay, students, verb is divided into three parts. First one is transitive, second one is intransitive, and the third one is auxiliary. Okay, students, but you may ask me a question, what is transitive? Okay, students, I am telling you, transitive sentences are required object. That means this verb is not completed if there is no any object in the sentence. For example, she killed. Is it a complete sentence? No, not at all, students. This is incomplete. There is something missing. What does she kill? Sorry, what did she kill? That is missing here. So, students, this kind of sentence cannot be completed without having an object. So, students, she killed is an incomplete sentence. So, now I am completing it. She killed a snake. Now, is it a complete sentence? Yes, students, absolutely. This is a complete sentence. She is their subject and killed is the verb and a snake is object. In this way, we have made this sentence a complete one. So, this can be called as the transitive sentence. Got it? Now, students, then what is an intransitive sentence? Intransitive sentences are needed, no need any object. I play in the evening. I play in the evening. Here there is no any object. This is not an object. Students, I play in the evening. Here this sentence is not required any object like snake. Snake is an object, but in the evening is not an object. Okay. So students, this kind of sentence can be called as intransitive. And auxiliary, you know that auxiliary can be divided into two. One is prime auxiliary, the second one is modal auxiliaries. Okay, students, what is prime auxiliaries? Yes, is, are, was, were. Example, is, are, am, was, were, do, does, did, has, have. These all are prime auxiliaries. Then what is modal auxiliary? Can, may, should. These all can be called etc. There are a lot of students. Must, should, might, may. These all are modal auxiliaries. So students, verb, I told you what is a verb. Okay. So this verb can be divided into three: transitive, intransitive, auxiliaries. I told you transitive is required an object, but intransitive doesn't need any object. Auxiliary are having two different parts. First one is prime auxiliary, the second one is modal auxiliary. Got it, students? Now you got the idea about the verb. Now we are moving towards our main topic, that is tense. The first one is present indefinite. Okay, So let us go to this topic by using a particular formula. Indefinite can be affirmative and negative. Okay, let us see subject in the beginning. In the case of affirmative sentence, subject is in the beginning, subject plus verb s or es form plus object. We use do or does as the helping verb. Look at here, students. Subject is in the beginning, then after verb. According to English, you know that verb will always come. In the case of affirmative, verb will come in the middle of the sentence. You can see verb SES form. What is this S or ES form? Yes, students. If suppose subject is singular, if the subject is singular, then we should use S or ES along with the verb. If subject is plural, we should not use the S or ES with the verb. Got it? Then you may ask, what is singular? But you know, I think you all are knowing it very well. Singular, there is only one. Okay, there is only one noun. For example, boy, that is a singular noun. Boys is plural because there are a lot of boys. We don't know the exact number. I used only boy. Singular is boy and the plural is boys. Girl, girls. Okay, this kind of verbs are called singular and plural verbs. If the verb is only one, that means singular, then we should use S or ES form of the verb. If the plural subject is there, then we should not use the S or ES form of the verb along with the verb. So S or ES form of the verb in the sentence when there is plural subject. For example, negative. When we are making negative, students always remember this SES form will be removed to bring not in the sentence. We should use one of these in the sentence. For example, this is an affirmative sentence. She goes to school. This is a sentence. She is singular subject. So I have used ES form of the verb along with the go. Got it? Now I am going to make the negative sentence. She does not go to school. Look at here, students. This when the does came, go remove this ES. Got it? And this does is replaced ES form of the verb. Remember? And why did I use this does here? Because she is singular. This is the reason why I have used does. Now, if suppose they go to school. They go to school. Why there is no any S or ES form? Yes, students, because they is plural. So look at here, with the plural, S or ES form cannot be used. It is against the rule of English. Okay, students? And when we are making it negative sentence, they do not go to school. Got it? They do not go to school. In this way we can make the negative. If suppose, students, if you are making interrogative sentence. What is interrogative? Interrogative sentences are the sentences which ask questions. Okay? So how can we make this sentence an interrogative one? Does she go to school? And don't forget to put the question mark. Clear it, students? And again look at here, does is here, so there is no any s or es form of the verb. This whole thing should be remembered while we are using this sentence. Okay, now I am taking you for, to some of the examples, as well as I will tell you why do we use this indefinite form. Students, when we are talking about our daily routines, look at the board, students. When we are talking about our daily routine, for example, I get up in the morning, get up. This is regular process. Today I got up, tomorrow I will not. This is not having any sense. This is a regular, we used to sleep at the night. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. This is regular routine. Okay. Now habitual action. What is habitual action? Same. I play in the evening. This is not for today. This was not for yesterday. It is a habitual action every day. Okay. Got it? Now universal truth. There are some particular things which cannot be changed. Whenever this world is existing, until then this thing cannot be changed. For example, mother loves her children. This cannot be changed. This is a universal truth, students. This will remain always as it is. Okay? Mother loves her children. Dogs bark at strangers. This is also universal truth. Dogs, if he or she has seen, if dogs or bitches, anyone has seen someone who is unknown to her, to him, they will definitely bark. Okay, got it? Now, sun rises in the east. This is also a universal truth. Got it? And one day we have waken up and we have seen sun is rising from west. No, never. Sun will definitely come from east only, students. So this is universal truth. Until and unless this earth is existing, till then sun will rise from the east and sun sets in the west. Okay, got it, students? This kind of things are called universal truth, which never be changed. Okay. Now I have told you there is certain formula to be used while we are dealing with this tense. Okay, I have made you understand what is the present indefinite or